out of the academy.
No, they do not.
I am not afraid, I am not afraid.
They're gonna keep coming.
I am not afraid, I am not afraid.
Let's do it.
Some days I can't get out of my head. That's just the dark side of me.
Bright is the David Ayer directed fantasy cop drama film, kind of a weird meld of those two genres, starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. And if you don't know about David Ayer, he directed Suicide Squad, End of Watch. He's a great director, Fury. And I feel like this was Netflix's first try of a big budget film straight to Netflix. They want to compete with the movie theaters, and I will give them that this was a good try. There was a lot of things about this movie that I didn't like, but there was some good stuff. First of all, they went out, they got the biggest star they could find, Will Smith, and Will Smith is great. I never think that Will Smith puts in a bad performance, even in some bad movies that people don't like. I always gravitate towards Will Smith, and he's fantastic in this movie. He has his certain Will Smithisms, his one-liners and things that some people will hate. They might be getting sick of it, but to me, I still loved it. He was great. He carried this film. He was really funny in the movie, and Joel Edgerton and him have some good chemistry, especially towards the end. It takes a while to get there, but it gets there. And Joel Edgerton is fine in this movie too. He's got a lot of makeup and practical effects on him, but it was a good acting job by the leads. I will say, as another positive, the special effects in this movie were fantastic. You can tell that $90 million production budget was well used here. This could have been a feature-length film in the movie theater. I wouldn't have blinked an eye. There was nothing in this that made me think that it couldn't be in the theaters. All the special effects were fantastic. There's some great action scenes in the film, and everything just looked really great. Now let's get into the negatives. Bright, right off the gate, you could tell it's going to be a very exposition and very setup type movie. There's a lot of setup going in here to try and build this world around you. And I just didn't like how they had to explain things in dialogue. It made people say things that wouldn't normally say. If they were living in this world, people wouldn't talk like this or be shocked by certain things. You would just be used to this stuff. It kind of reminded me, I just recently watched The Shape of Water, and when you're in that movie in the 1960s, you just feel like everything, it just feels really real. And in this movie, it felt kind of fake at times. It felt like a very exposition-heavy setup. And, towards the end, once everything gets set up, you're feeling like, okay, I'm ready for the movie now. And maybe we'll get that in the sequel, because Netflix has greenlit a sequel for this. But there's just too much setup in this movie and too much exposition, and it really bugged. There's a few plot holes in the movie that don't make a whole lot of sense. There's this little girl elf character that's kind of with them along the journey. I really didn't like her character at all. Maybe at the end she kind of redeemed herself a little bit, but at first she was just really annoying, and I just didn't like her. If you really just look at the story of this movie, there's not much to it. It's pretty much, they happen upon a magic wand, and then I guess a magic wand is basically like winning the lottery in this world, so everybody just tries to kill him after that. They're other cops, gangs, other factions, they just are all after him, and they're basically just running away the entire movie, and that's basically your plot. It is cool how you have all these different races, and I get it, it's kind of like an allegory for real world things going on. It's trying to be more clever than it actually is, and for the most part it didn't really work the way I think they were trying to make it work, but I was expecting this movie to be complete garbage. The critics absolutely hated it and trashed it. It kind of caused me to take a while to watch it. I watched it like a week after it came out. But I'm glad I watched it. I did not hate it. It's not a complete garbage movie. There's a lot of things to love in this. If you look at the audience rating, it's much higher than the critics rating. And that's because they built a cool little world here that I could see multiple sequels taking place and actually being good. And Will Smith is signed on for the sequel. You can't beat having Will Smith in a cool fantasy action movie. So I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm kind of down the middle on this one. I'm going to give Bright a 3 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to stay up to date with all my reviews and reactions, hit the subscribe button. While you're at it, hit the like button on this video, comment down below. Some of my last videos should magically appear here. Click those. Until next time, this is Rainy Cage. Peace out.